Yeah, ho.
Yo, it's Terrance Prescott. That's me, and I'm your favorite N-word. This video will be about the immortalization process, where I talk about the effect that people have on me and how I constantly use those people with the character creating process, like deciding on what they look like, how they act, their aura, their essence, their energy, things like that. But before we get into that, I want to tell you the definition of the trust zone era. A paradise of the perfect worlds, where anyone can become more than just a speck of sand in the universe. Your imagination is your gatekeeper. Be prepared to develop it your entire life. So, was in the making over the past couple of decades, because I was developing my mind, growing up in things, and during growing up I was focusing on these four major words when it came to making up the characters that I made, because I was inspired heavily, and I mean heavily, by all these people. So, first word is judgment. The process of forming an opinion or evaluation by discerning and comparing. An opinion so pronounced, a divine sentence or decision, a proposition stating something believed or asserted. The next one is energy. Someone's sensation, dynamic quality, the capacity of acting or being active, vigorous exertion of power, an entity of nature that is transferred between parts of a system in prediction of physical change within the system, and usually regarded as the capacity for doing work. Aura. A luminous radiation, a distinctive atmosphere surrounding a given source, a pseudo-sensory stimulus, an energy field that is held to emanate from a living being. And lastly, muse. Something that makes you wonder as well, to become absorbed in, a sole factor of amusement. Now, it all began with my family. I luckily come from a loving and understanding family. Really didn't have a lot of drama growing up, but at the same time, some things happen. But the fragility and the power of their personalities helped me be confident with the way I think. So, a lot of them are characters in the trust zone era. No matter how much you think I have a God complex or anything like that, I put myself in my stories a lot because they are my stories. And as a writer, and majority of the writers around the world, we impose our will onto an audience. And in a lot of places, in a lot of worlds, in a lot of visuals, I see myself in these worlds. So that's why I have so many versions of myself in my stories. And my little brother has probably 5 characters within my stories, so he is the second most used personality within my stories, regardless of the beef that we have now. What I caught back in the day, the essence of his personality had a whole lot of adventure in it, so his character is prone to be in a lot of the stories. Then I have cousins with maybe a couple of characters, but my mother, huge one character in the story, but she often is mentioned because I'm in the story. So out of all of the characters that I made up based off of myself, I think that my mother is mentioned as my mother within the story. So her, my eldest uncle, and both of my aunts have characters. One of my uncles doesn't have a character in the Trust Stone era, but another huge character is my grandmother from my mother's side, and there are no characters based off of anybody from my father's side of the family. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 family members made into characters. Oh, no wonder. 13 is one of my favorite numbers, but besides that, it was them that opened up the gateway into looking into people's personality and coming up with how I'm going to characterize the characters for the story. So me going through therapy as a kid and realizing that psychology is a thing and it's a part of science, and getting into the whole definition of interpersonal relationships, I looked at everything completely different than other youth. So my enjoyment when it comes to the Power Rangers is completely different than other people, because I'm looking at them in, you know, 5 colors, and you know, I'm always colorful. And then you have the relationships within the characters, and then seeing the what's that word, the actor chemistry between the actors, and looking at how they were dressed for the roles of the characters and things like that. I focus completely on that. And even though I love the aspect of superpowers and the supernatural the Power Rangers bring, I was very fascinated with who they casted as a kid, because, you know, I was in a predominantly white elementary school, so seeing the different races, I always focus on that, and I always wish there was more to see. So there was a huge stepping stone when it came to developing my imagination back in the day. But it was experiencing girl groups that really blew my mind, and I want to go down the entire list of girl groups, but I just want to say that I started off with 702, and just seeing them 3 together made a huge difference in my head, because, you know, I didn't like people for a long time growing up, because, you know, I was a kid. I didn't know how to explain what introvert means, and that I'm an introvert as a kid, and I didn't want to be messed with, bothered, have to see other people growing up, and I was just very isolated in a bubble as a kid. And seeing girls work together, because, you know, even as a kid I saw that girls were pitted against each other, and the 702 made me feel like there is a hope for humanity. So girl groups in a whole, lovely things, and all of them from 702, Total, TLC, In Vogue, Spice Girls, Black, Cleopatra, Dream, 3LW, JS, TG4 especially, huge 7 fan. But TG4, seeing them, Fanny Pack, Innocence, Eden's Crush, Pussycat Dolls, Sophia Fresh, Girlicious, Paradiso Girls, GRL, Stunners. There was hope for music back then. Electric Red, Shut Up Stella, The Yes Ma'ams, Stussy, and the Barbarellas, Electric Barbarellas, Danity Kane, Mix, Her Story, Rich Girl, Cookie Couture. I was big on that group, still is. Neon Jungle, Dumb Blonde, I Am Karate, June's Diary, Crush, Rich white ladies. That's the one right there. Blackpink. Chloe X Haley. Good Girl. And Boys World. So I'm always huge on girl groups, and they help me make up a lot of characters and a lot of the stories. And I want to say that, you know, I always make up characters based off of, you know, 6 of them, and then I go from the 6 characters that I initially made for a story, then going from there. And in a lot of cases, the first 6 characters made, one of them will be in a girl group. So girl groups are often in my stories, whether they are, you know, singing or not. But moving along with the judging of the energy and auras of people on the screens and how they became muses, I want to say that from my youth, the main 10 were Monica. Loved her voice. Kathy Griffin. Loved her comedy. Bianca Lawson. Loved her playing Kendra Young. And yes, Kendra Young, the Vampire Slayer, is one of my favorite characters of all time. Top 5 at best. Actually, number 1. But Big Boy of Outkast. Khalees, seeing her with that haircut. That was the first time I was like, damn, I would have loved for my hair to be lavender and my eyes to be red. Yes, in the 7th grade when Khalees came out, I was all up in her. Christina Milian, all up in her too, when she was doing her video jockey things, VJing on MTV and doing her red carpet things for Disney, all up in Christina Milian. Brett Harrison, his role on Reaper, great. Brandy Williams of Black, her beauty and the way that she sings, she has that Mr. Goodbar chocolate voice, and the way she looks. Karan Ashley, Aisha Campbell, one of my favorite characters of all time, top 10. Mandy Moore, and great times growing up with those 10. And then my favorite girls of all of the girl groups are as follows. Diana Ortiz of Dream. Loved her. She had that perfect girly voice, and I really love it when I hear a voice. Like my favorite vocal range of hers is on Clap. She has half of the first verse with Casey, and it's perfect. Love Diana Ortiz. Dawn Rashad of Danity Kane, Diddy Dirty Money. It's ridiculous how she has grown, and like Danity Kane, all 5 members, they were already goddesses, but the way that she developed and all of the music that she releases, like non-stop, year-round, all the time, ever since Telltale Heart, just releasing great, replayable, forever music. And then Notori Naughton, when she did Real Chicks Do Real Things, great. Great when she finally made some music by herself. And then she did the couple of songs for Fame, Invade Me, great song. But it's their Real Chicks Do Real Things that got me going. 7th Streeter, she was chocolate back then and even more chocolate now, and to me 7th Streeter has one of the best voices of all time. Just resonates perfectly with the way my eardrums are shaped. So I'm always going to be into 7th Streeter. And then Tiffany Anderson of Girlicious. Her voice was straight up Chocolate Factory. Haley Kiyoko, Ali Gonino, and Tinashe of the Stunners. I remember when they came out, and I was like, who are these white girls? And I was like, about time. And then Bubblegum, Spin the Bottle, and Dancing Around the Truth. Great songs. But this year, somebody dropped all of the unreleased music, and then dropped some more. And this one I heard, If You Want to Be the One. And this one, Ali and Tinashe is on that track, doing lead the most, and it's I won so much with that song. But the three of them are my favorites from the Stunners, and the three of my favorites of all. And then you have Scotty Rebel and Tokyo Diva, who are rich white ladies, and I have to say their talent is some of the biggest to me. Both of them cure my eardrums every time I hear their voices. And Scotty Rebel is the vocalist, Tokyo Diva is the rapper, and it's the song. The main one was White Powder Perm, and I was on it for the longest. Then they dropped Ransom, and I was on it for the longest. Then they dropped Love Is For the Weak, and she be like, 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila, floor. My boyfriend so mad, I danced like a whore out. And Scotty says, she sings, oh, I'm dancing on my own now. And she says that, sings that once through the song, and it's just and it sounds like you space tripping so hard. And that was the dawn of my space tripping playlist. And I mean, you can't top Rich White Ladies. It's a satire group, all kind of fun, all kind of ridiculous, and in the way that they do music together is prime. Okay, but moving along, because I spent like forever amount of time on girl group members. But reality and TV personalities. Yes, I grew up on a Real World and Road Rules. I watched several seasons of Big Brother. Still watch The Amazing Race. Top Shelf was elite. And all of the other reality shows, like the ones from Nickelodeon, the game show people doing the kids on the summer things. I can't remember the name of it right now, but there were a lot of shows growing up, and I just watched all of them because, you know, I was trying to make characters with personality and make them cohesive and learn everything about the real world, so that when I make personalities in fiction, that it's sound. And yes, it is sound, because I'm pretty sure you like them on characterization sheets from the Crystal Collective. But moving right along, my top 10 personalities from reality TV is Tierra Marie, Lily Galici, Masika Kalisha, Jamie Chung, Royce Reed, Monique Samuels, Shay Johnson, Monique Slaughter, Marlo Hampton, and Feisty. Love of Ray J, which was a trip because when Chardonnay said time to hit the Odessa Trail when Extra was acting up. Great times. But I just really like Feisty because she got on I Love Money too, and that was a very, very interesting reality competition show. But moving on to the people with the stories of quality. Now, I want to say that I don't particularly follow what the tabloid magazines say about choosing A-list celebrities and whatnot, because I don't feel like they have any of the energy or the auras to become muses of mine, and they just flat out boring. But Angel Conwell, Nicole Ziana, Jessica Liu, Tassie Dunraj, which is now Tassie Lawrence because she got married, Micaiah Cox, Nico Haraga, J.R. Ramirez, Rockman Dunbar, Cody Christian, and Tim Kaine. They are behind the looks of a lot of my characters. Also the inspiration behind a lot of them too. Crazy times. I know that Rockman Dunbar and Tim Kaine influenced two of the Fantasy Man and the Lover's Mad stories, but like Tassie Dunraj she's in a side story and she's in a main story. Micaiah Cox, I use her beauty almost all the time. Jessica Liu has a couple of characters in the stories. Nicole Ziana has a character in the story, and Angel Conwell has multiple. I've been using her way back since 1997. Great times. Now going over to America's Next Top Model. So I was watching since the first season, so I've seen all of their beauty and I've seen all of their trials and tribulations. But one of my favorite pastimes is America's Next Top Model because I watched every single season. I studied them. I went to go look at girls after the time on the show. The whole website where it gets all of the photos and put them and archives them in order and things like that, and it's great. I love that site, many years. But my top 10 contestants are As Marie Livingston, and yes, she's a rap goddess. Morning Guarantee, great song, and I was like, damn, her rap style is wild and goofy and funny, but she took me there. And then I heard Lituation, I was like, wow, she really got it. But Bianca Sade, Bianca Richardson from the Petite Cycle, Bree Scullard, Jessica Santiago, Casey Leggett, Chris Leanne Rodriguez, Leslie Mancia, Mame Ajay, Marvita Washington, and Raylia Lewis. Raylia, I was so disappointed with this season because of the America being allowed to vote. Actually, the whole world was allowed to vote, but the atrocities of so many people voting in a situation like that, when in a lot of cases most of the world is not artists, and unfortunate for me, I have to deal with that, and it's horrible because there was a lot of people on that season that should have been in the top 6, but Raylia and how she has evolved and the way that she models now, and being able to just blog her back to back, like she is on my Tumblr year after year, month after month, and then she promotes these other girls, and that's how I saw and found out about Kimberly Herron, but she'll come up later. Raylia Lewis is a gateway. Now Instagram was a different story, because when I finally got on Instagram, there were all these things I didn't know, and I just followed people that I like, and then started that I know, and then started following people from all of the other shows that I watch, and other models and things like that, and then I discovered all of these people, and as you can see, Kimberly Herron is in it. Diana Nutter, which is another person that Raylia Lewis introduced me to, so there's 2 people up there that she introduced me to. And then Ken Kirby from Dynasty, Ryan Brady, just luckily coming across him, and every time I see him, that he always doing these incredible things, and it looks beautiful. So regardless of him being an actor, I think he has a huge eye for art, because I just can't help but to stop every time he posts something. Same with Kanisha Cole, and she be serving them dances for Fatima Molina, seeing her on Diablo, made the show very worth it. Shamir Anderson, seeing him on Winona Earp, made the show very worth it. Bianca Santos, even though she was only on The Fosters for a brief time, when she came back, very worth it. And seeing her at all is very worth it. Swizz, her husband introduced me to him. Models very excellently. Great eye for art. Love him. All his photo shoots are tough, solid, artistic, executed splendidly. And then Daniela Kozio, I forgot how I learned about her, but I think it was a suggestion thing, and the suggestion thing, sometimes it'll hit, most part it's a miss, but seeing her was a great addition to my art reel in my head, and I stop whenever I see any of them posts. Now the next one, Bad Girls Club. So I didn't start off with this show, and I have to say that I'm glad I didn't, because even going through the YouTube videos, going through the comments, it seemed like, just like the audience of America's Next Top Model, it's a lot of people who don't understand what a real person is versus someone who just showing off for the cameras and isn't really entertaining, because there's a lot of girls in Bad Girls Club, and I'm like, who is that? They casted that person? Y'all could have did a lot better than that, and it's horrid. The viewing experiences that I've seen of Bad Girls Club, and the best moments, and the girls that get the best moments, then it's very tiring, and y'all just the Bad Girls Club fandom is as bad as the Nintendo fandom. It's just a lot of people that are just constantly absent-minded when they make decisions on what they find entertaining. But my top 10 bad girls are Jamie and Jasmine Wallace, Hanan and Suha Ibrahim. Their season was so them sisters, they made their season worth it, because it was barely interesting in the best moments until they came along. And great times. I'll probably go watch that video again later. But Brianna Walker, Raquel Rocky Santiago, Amber Zadora, Eladria, Stephanie Tejada, and Lucci V. If I were to make a show, and it would involve bringing back some of the bad girls, them 10 would be in the house, definitely. But it would be more so on what they actually do in the world, because I want to be the bankroll behind Jamie Wallace's strip club and daycare. I really want to do it. I want to make it happen. I want to. Like, I think it's very sound, and the character that I based off of her, this occupation in real life after high school, and the story transpires and things like that. But I would like to have a Bear Girls Club focusing on the businesses that these 10 women want. Especially Stephanie, because her comedy game is off the chain. I love her videos. Well, moving right along. There are a lot of people in the world, right? There are a lot of beautiful people. There are a lot of charismatic people, and that's fine and everything, but I like the people that look great in images. And these 10, dead ass, as soon as I saw them for the first time, I was like, damn, I have to make a character based off that person. And I grew up doing it with everybody else prior to these 10, and so Mickey Ihara, Leomi Anderson, Spence Moore 2, Vanessa Morano, Laura Morano, Justine Sky, Greer Grammer, Aisha Issa, Bhumika Aurora, and Aya Asahina. Now, Spence Moore 2, Lover's Mask had 15 men, right? And I wasn't expecting to add any more to it, and cause there would be a glutton for punishment with making up stories. But when I saw Spence Moore 2, I was like, did his face and his energy, first of all, he should have been the main character. He should have been casted for the main character role in All American. But moving right along, I love the way all of these look. So in my X-Men fanfic, there's a part 2, and in part 2, Leomi Anderson, Vanessa, and Laura Morano are all characters, and there are 3 witches in the story. And I really like that dynamic trio, but I really like all 3 of them because I've been watching Vanessa Morano on multiple shows, and I've seen Laura Morano on shows too. And then Leomi Anderson is relatively new to the entertainment industry, and the way that all 3 of them handle things is very miraculous. Ridiculous. The immortalization process, I'm dead ass happy it grows because of them. And like all 10 of them, it just like I can't even say I have a favorite out of them 10. I just love seeing them, and all of them have been posted on my Tumblr, and I look forward to posting more of Bhumika because she is relatively new, like Leomi Anderson is as well. But Aisha Issa, I wish I could see more of her because she's just an actress, model, martial artist, and the way that she conveys power is beyond beautiful, transcendent, alluring over that lovely dark skin of hers. And she be wearing braids often, and you know that's my kind of woman, so I'm satisfied. And for the most part, I stay satisfied because of the visuals that I've seen throughout life and what I find beauty, what I find beautiful and handsome, because you know I'm damn near blind, and I've been blind my whole life. One day I'm not gonna be able to see, so when I judge what I find beautiful, I'm dead ass doing it because I know it's not gonna last forever. And before I go into that abyss, I want to make sure it's colorful and vivacious, and my immortalization process makes it so. But I'm gonna disappear now. I'm gonna go work on some stories, get prepared to record another fantasy file, get prepared to do some drawing for Crunch. Might have that produced all the way by Thursday midnight, but it depends because I gotta go do some push-ups and things. But you'll see me around, and hopefully I'll see you around too. If you had the time, take it and let me know who are the people that you find the most beautiful and handsome, that you constantly have no choice but to be amused by them every time you see them. Drop that comment. And until next time, keep it lovely, and remember to be kind to everybody else in the trenches.